What if I tell you that your salvation came with security? Not only did it came with security, but it come with a lifetime warranty. Right. You know how you go to the store and you might buy a vacuum, right, and they ask you, do you want to put a warranty on this? Majority of people say no, because they know they're going to break it in 2 years. When you belong to the Lord, he gives you a lifetime warranty of protection. In that, depression, sin, trauma, none of it could stick to you at that point. It becomes a diagnosis, but it's never your identity. I became depressed when I gave my life to Christ. So when I came to Christ and he told me to tear down my reputation, I had nothing else. And I started to have like this funeral grieving process, because I know I had to separate from my old mindset, my old desires, my old thoughts, my old identity. But I didn't know God well enough to know what I was stepping into. I didn't trust him because I didn't know him to trust him. I was taught in the streets that you trust yourself. You don't love nothing. And then I had father issues, right, as well too. So now I'm coming into this relationship where God is saying, you my father. And last I checked, that title didn't check out. So I became depressed.
In your life, in your experiences with people who come to you and say, yo, I'm truly alone. What if they feel like God is not present because he's not moving?
We got to go back to the effects of trauma. Remember when I said trauma time stamps itself in your life? Many people never feel alone, even when they physically by themselves, because they always got to figure out a way to address that 11-year-old in them. They got to figure out a way to address that 7-year-old with them. When your heart first got broken by maybe a parent, right? And from a trauma standpoint, our first enemy, like our first op, is an unhealed parent. So when we look at that and we look at it from a generational standpoint, it's gonna always stay with you. So even if you outside of God, you're never truly alone until you address that right there.
Right.
And only God, this is why God is a timeless God, because only God can restore that.
I'm thinking about Job right now, because now when I see their friends, I see how they were talking to him. Even though they weren't wrong in certain things that they were saying, their initial thing, literally, if you go into chapter 2, it literally says they were with Job and did not say a word because they were there to comfort him.
They always say if somebody's depressed, the worst thing you can do in that is encourage them. The best thing you can do is walk them through the action plan that their therapist developed for them. But if you do not have an action plan and you're trying to encourage somebody through it, you actually making it worse, because you are reminding them who they are not. So when you saying, get up, come on, right, you trying to motivate them, you're not even allowing them to perform their basic needs. What you should say to a person that's depressed, here with your toothbrush, brush your teeth. Here with your clothes, put some clothes on even if you don't go nowhere. Because you want to know what's as disrespectful? When somebody that's suffering from depression or any mental health condition go to a pastor and they say, just have faith. That sounds like get out my face.